Meals on Wheels of Tampa finds its humble beginnings in 1975 under the guidance of Gloria Fuentes. This nonprofit organization began with the intention to help the homebound out of a local church. From serving just 14 meals a day to now over 800, the organization continues to grow, even breaking ground for a new facility. Now, looking at its mission statement, its key points are to nourish, enrich, and strengthen. The organization practices through their vision statement to eliminate hunger, isolation, and loss of independence for the homebound and seniors in our community. This is possible through its food delivery service and programs such as Water on Wheels, Produce on Wheels, Hurricane Preparedness Packs, and celebrations. However, more than just its service, it is the relationship and connection made between volunteer and recipient that makes Meals on Wheels so special. To further this effort, Meals on Wheels is now in a position to enhance its cultural connections amongst its volunteers.
When it comes to issue analysis, there are three major issues that Meals on Wheels is facing. The number one being there is a lack of marketing department. There's an absence of marketers within Meals on Wheels. The second is overworked staff because of restricted budget. The third one being there's a lack of diversity within volunteers and also leadership, and the values of Meals on Wheels needs to reflect the community better. So there are four goals to combat these issues. The first goal is create a marketing department for Meals on Wheels. For that, we have an objective of have current staff scout for 2 marketers and get at least 10 individuals that would fit the description by the end of the month to create and organize a marketing department. And the second is to seek out for more volunteers to decrease the staff that feels overworked. So we can do that by focus on target audience of high school and college students for the next 2 months. And by the end of this campaign, ideally, we want to have an increase of volunteers within 25%, and that's the ideal goal that we want to reach. And for goal number 3, we want to reform internal leadership to better fit the Tampa Bay community values. So we want to do that by conducting a survey within the Tampa Bay community, specifically Hillsborough County, to gain a better understanding of local people's values and how they align with Meals on Wheels. And this survey can be conducted via Qualtrics for the length of 30 days in March. And finally, for goal number 4, there should be a search for more donor within the Tampa Bay communities or donors that has involvement here before. So for example, an ex-resident that used to live here or local alumni from Tampa, like just University of Tampa, University of South Florida. And after reaching out to these individuals, Meals on Wheels can partner up with 3 or 4 of these individuals or the organization that they work for that have similar values with Meals on Wheels in order to ask for financial support or even food donation. And at the end of this year, hopefully establish a long-term relationship with them.
Meals on Wheels of Tampa Bay should base its segmentation of consumer markets on geographic location, demographics, and benefits sought, which is behavioral segmentation. All this makes sense. Geographic because Meals on Wheels is a local nonprofit which operates within a certain area, followed by demographics. Meals on Wheels wants volunteers who can drive, so that means volunteers must be at least 16 years old. This is followed by behavioral segmentation. Meals on Wheels should want people who want to make a difference. Meals on Wheels' primary target market should focus on international students who live in the Tampa Bay area, who are 18 to 55 years old, and of any level, undergraduate, graduate, doctorate. For this target market, the position statement reads as follows. For the second primary target market, Meals on Wheels should target first-generation immigrants, those whose parents were born outside the United States, who are 18 to 60 years old and live in the Tampa Bay area. These individuals understand communication barriers and they want to provide others of similar origin with the same opportunity they've had to communicate and to create an emotional connection. The positioning statement for the second primary target market reads as follows. Meals on Wheels' secondary target market should focus on high school students who are 16 to 19 years old and reside in Hillsborough County. This demographic are students who will most likely further their education at a college or university in the near future. These folks at their young age can obtain a driver's license. On top of that, many high school programs and scholarships require students to complete certain amount of volunteering hours, which together with the statements above, make them the potential best candidates to become the wheels of Meals on Wheels. For this secondary target market, the positioning statement reads as follows. Meals on Wheels' secondary target market should focus on single and widow Hispanic individuals in the Tampa Bay area who are 30 to 60 years old and have a desire to create an emotional connection with the people around them. They have a desire to become something bigger than themselves. For this target market, the positioning statement reads as follows.
Our main objective for our marketing plan is to enhance our cultural connections for Meals on Wheels Tampa through volunteer recruitment, diversifying our partnerships, different leadership training. The ways we were going to do this is you're recruiting volunteers of different backgrounds who do speak different languages, diversifying our partnerships with different members of the community who are of a different cultural background. All of this does serve to enhance our experience with our consumers for our consumers, essentially, enhancing our cultural connections to make it a better experience for them, ultimately.
To fully understand the information in our primary research survey and draw some insights, Meals on Wheels should have in mind the demographic of survey participants, as there are vital factors that influence participants' responses. Survey participants had a mean age of 20 to 25 years old, and at the same time, approximately 90% of them have college background. These are both due to the fact that our group used convenience sampling. Survey participants had a mean age of 20 to 25 years old, and at the same time, approximately 90% of respondents have a college background. These are both due to the nature of the sampling used in the survey, which is convenience sampling. Approximately 2/3 of participants, 66% in other words, identified their gender as female, including transgender women. And lastly, 45% of respondents identified their ethnicity as white. Let's see the non-demographic questions and some insights. This primary research survey uncovered insights such as individuals who have attended college or have college background do in fact donate and volunteer in nonprofit organizations. The most common reason they volunteer is to help people in the community by giving back. Respondents are aware of Meals on Wheels at a national level, which means that not only respondents partake in nonprofit organizations, but they are aware of Meals on Wheels competitors at a national scale. Respondents feel represented by the diversity in their community, in the Tampa community. The lack of diversity is not a current problem, and if it was, it would not impact the respondents' ability to work, volunteer, or participate in extracurricular activities. Respondents feel equally likely to volunteer by themselves than with their families, than with their friends. The main expectation respondents have from the organization they volunteer in is that the organization gives back to the community and do so being honest. Lastly, social responsibility is important to respondents, which supports and validates all the answers they gave us in this survey.
The first action plan concerning brand ambassadors involves the first process of recruiting some of Meals on Wheels Tampa's current volunteers and turning them into brand ambassadors, into people who will market themselves and their experiences with Meals on Wheels Tampa to other potential participants and potential volunteers. It involves these new brand ambassadors sharing their experiences at certain events in Tampa. The two events we chose was Hyde Park Village Market and the Ybor Saturday Market. So Ybor Saturday Market is more frequent. It is every Saturday and it has more frequency but less outreach. It only has about 55 vendors. The Hyde Park Village Market reaches out to about 90 to 125 vendors on its own, so more people, but it's only once a month. So we wanted the frequency as well as the outreach, and it would involve volunteers sharing their experiences, handing out pamphlets, sign-up sheets, printing out all of that, and just creating this experience for potential volunteers to see what it would be like to be part of Meals on Wheels Tampa and recruiting more people. Ideally, we would want about 2,000 signups. That's the goal with the budget we have set out, which is $937.50. That allocates the cost of the actual cost of booths as well as some money left over for pamphlets and unforeseen expenses. The second action plan to start with is the Facebook ad campaign. That's a 3-month-long ad campaign. It's got an allocation of $2,500. So the goal of this ad campaign is to create, once again, highlight the experiences of the volunteers that are currently there of different cultural backgrounds and try to bring in new volunteers, bring more to that aspect, more cultural volunteers. You'd create a video ad campaign that would be displayed on Facebook and have a little sign up link right underneath it. So the click would take you straight to the sign up sheet on say Meals on Wheels Tampa, their site or such. But the whole concept of that would be just to receive more signups. So your clicks would be your measurement there. Your cost, our total cost is $2,500. And it's generally going to be where our goal is 1,000 impressions a day. And then the clicks are really the measurement. So the people who are clicking on the ad and trying to actually sign up and see past just what they see on their screen.
For our third marketing strategy, it is to collaborate with International Student Services at USF to increase awareness of Meals on Wheels through weekly and monthly emails. So this would target the international student demographic at USF and would reach around 5,000 students from 145 different countries. It would be sent around once a week and also once a month because this is when the newsletter gets sent out, and it would start from January to March. To make this happen, the organization leaders would reach out to the International Student Services at USF, and from there, they can use the newsletter to reach out to other international students. The budget is basically free because the International Student Services always look for opportunities for their students to be involved, so they would not mind to include Meals on Wheels in their newsletter. And to measure this, there should be an increase in website and social media reach around 50 to 100 international students by the end of the semester. For the fourth marketing strategy, it is to create an Instagram ad campaign and increase social media reach and gather new volunteers within the Tampa Bay community. This is to target the individuals who are people of color from the age of 18 to 35 who are passionate about volunteering and live in the Tampa Bay area. The reach should be around 58,000 to 150,000 people, and each person of interest would see the ad once a week for a month straight. The ad would run in the month of March. This should be measured by increasing follows of Instagram, specifically within their age range of 18 to 35 from diverse cultures and background.
Following the proposed marketing strategies, we're now able to view them in a tangible manner. The action plan or calendar details the 3-month campaign period from January to March, as well as the description and frequency of said events. Now, the overall proposed budget is set at $9,000. The process as a whole will be implemented and controlled through the legacy system. Now, the legacy system is an evaluation tool, a scale from 1 to 10 with its point values based on a field of metrics allocated according to volunteer signups, social media engagement, and diversity statistics. Now, it is ideal that Meals on Wheels of Tampa will refer to this evaluation tool weekly, working towards an ultimate 10 on the scale.
And that has been it. If there are any further questions, please reach out to us via email, or Teams, or Canvas. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.